So students, in this part we'll be studying about the writing style of Ernest Hemingway. And as you know, Ernest Hemingway, as I explained you earlier, that he was a very subtle writer. He didn't write any extraordinary fiction. He wrote the things that, that was related to any event in the daily or normal life of the people. And that is why he garnered a lot of attention and a lot of fame during his time. And people also looked up to him and was inspired by him, as he inspired a lot of people, right students? Okay, now we'll come to know what was his writing style. So his writing style was crisp. Crisp means not the literal meaning of crisp, it means what it was to the point. He did not have to manipulate his technique or manipulate the readers to know what is going to happen. It was to the point, it was crystal clear that this is what is the meaning of crisp. Okay, then he had a realistic dialogue. His dialogue writing was in such a way that it looked like it used to look like a realistic conversation, rather than using a lot of adjectives and a lot of adverbs. He tried to make the dialogue short, simple and understandable to the readers. Okay, he was unambiguous, he was not confused, he did not confuse the readers. Okay, then he did not use extravagant adjectives or adverbs. So he did not use extraordinary adjectives or to make, to beautify his literary work. He did not do that. He tried to make it to the point, crystal clear, crisp and as understandable as possible. Okay, this was his style. Next, the characters, when they were speaking to each other, what he did, his style was to have short sentences. When the characters in the story used to speak to each other, they did not speak too much, or they did not speak any complicated dialogues. The dialogues were short and clear and understandable. Okay, this was the style of Ernest Hemingway. Now we come to the advice. So what Ernest Hemingway gave people advice, what advice was given by him? So advice was to write from life, blending fact and fiction. So his advice to the young authors or to the young writers was that do not write something that is extraordinary, something that needs a lot of thinking and a lot of processing that goes on in the mind. Don't write like that. Keep it simple, keep it from the life. Okay, so any experience that you have that has happened in your life, you can inserting facts also and imagination, that is fiction also. So this was the advice given by Ernest Hemingway to the people who were who wanted to start writing as a career. Okay, now we come to what is this whole A Day's Wait is based on. Is this really fact? Is this from reality, or this is a whole imagination used by Ernest Hemingway? So I would like to tell you that this is not an imagination. This whole story is not an imagination of Ernest Hemingway. This incident actually happened in his life. And what was the incident? It is based on the real incident that had happened with his first child when he had fever. So the whole story that you see is a blend of fiction and fact. So the fact here is that the whole plot of the story actually happened in his own life when his first child was suffering from fever. And what are the fiction that Ernest Hemingway himself would know, that what is the fiction in it, because we just got this much information that this plot is all real, but as he said, that blend fact and fiction. So obviously this whole story will be a blend of fact and fiction. We don't know that what is fiction, we don't know what is fact, but the plot of the story and the main backbone of the story, that the child has fever, is real and is realistic, and this had happened in Ernest Hemingway. So not only Ernest Hemingway gave people this advice that write from life, write anything that has happened in your life but also he also did the same, and that is why he gained a lot of popularity. He became a celebrity figure in his country, in America. And I think many people know Ernest Hemingway and have read a lot of his stories that are very, very subtle, that are very, that are just, it's like just happening in front of you. Everything that happens in his story is just like that something has happened with you, or something has happened in your locality, in your society. So it's nothing very fictitious, that that J.K. Rowling has this type of writing that is extremely fictitious, that is way, way far from the reality. So that is her style of writing. But on the other hand, there are many famous authors who don't have that fictitious mind, but they try to make the reality also fiction. They bring fiction to life. This is what I would like to say. So they really bring fiction to life. A lot about fiction and all. So I'd like to tell you to read something that is that says a lot about the life of great people. So this is what I would like to tell you. So suppose these are great personalities. If you read about them, you will also try to learn from them, and you'll also try to imbibe the good qualities. Obviously you should read fiction, but a lot of fiction is also, I wouldn't say it's not good, but it will take you to an imaginary land or something like that. So too much imagination, too much fantasy is also not very good. So try to live in the real world. This is what I would like to tell you. Try to live in reality. And if you live in reality, what will happen? If you live in reality, you will know what the world is all about. You'll know what real people are. You will know what real personalities are. You'll know what real people faced, what real people achieved, what real people are. So this is what you will learn. So I think this is the best way to write. And if anyone who wants to start, I like to tell you that you can take